I convene the September 17th, 2025 regular board meeting to order at 7 p.m. Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swistek.
Here.
Vanessa Berry.
Here.
Debbie Bryan.
Here.
Josh Martin.
Here.
Karen Larson.
Here.
Laura Bailey.
Here.
Liz Sullivan.
Here.
Thank you. Agenda item number 2 is opportunity for visitors to speak. Public comment is for the general public to address the board. Each person will have up to 5 minutes to provide public comment. Seeing none, we will move on to agenda item number 3, which acknowledges that President Swistek and Trustee Larson reviewed the August billings in September, and that Secretary Martin and Trustee Larson will review the September billings in October. However, Trustee Sullivan will review the September billings in October in place of Trustee Larson.
Okay.
Item number 4 is the consent agenda. Is there a trustee who wishes to pull something from the consent agenda? Okay. If not, may I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
I move. Go. I move to approve the consent agenda, which includes the minutes of the August 13, 2025 board meeting, executive session minutes, acknowledgement of the August 31st, 2025 treasurer's report, investment activity report, current assets report, revenue report, expense report, and the authorization of the September 17, 2025 payment of bills. Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swistek.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Bailey.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Agenda item number 5 is unfinished business related to capital projects. 5A1 and 2 include updates on the BAS project and the HVAC project. 5A3 concerns the Kingston Lot Development Project and includes a presentation by Terra Engineering. Mark, can you please walk us through the first 2 discussion items, and then we can proceed to the third topic?
Sure, I'll be brief. I'm here or there, does it matter?
Oh, we're
There,
here.
okay.
That's great. Thanks.
I'll be brief. Essentially, the BS update, we are, I don't know, I want to say 99% complete, but not quite there yet. We're fighting with parking lot lights. Will's been trying to troubleshoot some of the VABs that have had some sporadic communication losses and things like that. IBS is still being responsive. We'd like them to complete the lights so we can complete that project. But that's one of the big things that's holding up completion of that. On better news, one source on the HVAC side is complete. So we're closing that. There's a little bit of work that they'll continue doing as they kind of take care of the warranty type period on this project. Especially with IBS having some, I'll call it communication glitches over the past month or 2. We want to make sure that they're still on call, which they are, and that's why we do have the warranty on them. But I think from what I've heard, the library's been happy with one source's work. We are closing them out, and we'll continue to monitor IBS to make sure that they are continuing to be responsive to the issues that are plaguing the lights. I'll turn it over to my colleague, unless there's questions on those related to, introduce the Kingston lot and Terra, if that's okay.
Did anyone have any questions for Mark about A1 and 2?
And I just want to introduce Sarah.
Yep.
She obviously had been, I think, to one facility, it was a committee meeting.
Yeah, physical plant.
Physical plan, thank you. But yeah, she's been spearheading a lot of the work with Tara, and so that's why I'll turn it actually over to her. She's been doing it.
Thank
So-
you, Sarah.
Yeah, so Craig Most is here with Tara, and he's gonna be presenting 2 conceptual design options that we've been working through for the Kingston Lot development. And today we're looking for feedback on these 2 plan options, as well as some elements that will be on the site as well.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming. We're gonna turn on the lights and then make some room for Craig.
Thank you.
I think that's good.
All right, my name is Craig Most. I'm Senior Landscape Planner with Terra Engineering. So we started with this project, vacant lot here south of the library site. Biggest obstacle we have right now is getting from the lot to the library, right? So there is gonna be some work that'll need to happen to make that work, but it's very doable. So what I'm gonna go to is 2 concept plans we've come to in our discussions, give you guys some different ideas of what this could be, give you some ideas of what these pieces of each concept could include. We don't need to make any decisions on we like this exact thing or that exact thing. It could be a mishmash of different pieces, whatever you like, but it's basically to give you guys, here are your options. How would you like to try to move forward? So.
Can I just say one thing too, to set the table too? We're really early in this process. This is what we call the CCS project definition. We're trying to define what the scope is. So that feedback that Craig's looking for is really not to say, I want this to be specifically this, but it is, how do we want to use this lot, which will then, if this moves forward by board direction, that'll be shaped into it. So, very early.
Did we want to pass out the larger sheets now?
Oh,
or-
yeah, we can do that. Jackie, do you mind?
Nope, I'm going.
Go from the center.
Sorry, we can do that too.
These are basically just what's going to be shown on the screen, so if you want to take a closer look at it.
When we turn the lights back on, you'll have this in front of you.
They're more important than us.
Right, so concept A. Both concepts, again, we're going to be,
Thank you.
if you're drawing directly from the front of the entry, the existing entry to the library. And so coming across the parking lot, what we're showing is the removal of 3 parking stalls in order to create a landing on the other side of the parking lot. And
Right here, we're talking.
right, yeah. And then from that point on, you would have a bridge that would cross over the detention basin. So you have the 2 walls that are kind of showing up pretty clearly right there. Those are at the same level, and then the wall, the existing wall, let me squeeze through here, that's right about here. That's about 3 to 4 feet taller. So that bridge is gonna need to slope up to get up to that upper level of the vacant lot. So in doing that, there's gonna be some grading that'll need to happen. There's an existing fence there that would need to partially go away. Obviously, some clearing of some landscaping and brush that's in that area. But you're gonna need to do that in order to access the site directly from the library, like we're showing here. So from there, you would walk up this ramp. Again, you gotta get grade change to get to that circular plaza space. So that circular plaza space is gonna need to sit down probably, I wanna say like 2 feet below what it's at right now. So that whole site's gonna need to get lowered in order to make that grading transition work. We're trying to avoid having ramps and handrails and all that, so everything is ADA accessible, but it's, a gradual slope. So, so you have this central plaza as you walk up. Over this plaza, it's kind of grayed out in that image, but it's a triangular shade sail. So
Oh, yeah.
that would kind of provide you shade in that.
If you want to talk to me on the screen, that's
Oh.
fine too, if you got it.
That's right. So yeah, so this is where that shade sail would be. Create a nice little concrete area, plaza space, picnic tables. You have a seat wall. Like I said, this is all going to be set down a little bit grade-wise, so you're going to need something to kind of hold back this existing grade, and then have some type of landscaping buffer. So as you're walking over from the library, you're going to see this focal point shade sail. You'll have seating, you'll have a seat wall, all kind of as they're just gonna draw you across. This is what's over here, I wanna go see what's over here, right? From here, you can go 2 different ways. We're creating a loop path. Like I said, there is grade change, so it's gonna have to slope up to get up here. This is gonna be pretty close to grade, but it will slope up a little bit, and then it'll be near existing grade for most of the rest of it. Scattered around the trail, we're having these seating areas. We're gonna call them like reading nooks, bench, maybe some landscape around it to kind of give it a more of an enclosed feel, but nothing too crazy. But we have those scattered throughout. We have site lighting, pedestrian lighting along the trail as well. And then, tough to see at this scale, but continue your storyboards. Have a bunch of those scattered around this loop trail as well. Because we're digging out all this dirt, we need to lose it somewhere. We like to lose it on site, and so we're creating berming in different areas to kind of lose that dirt on site so we don't have to haul it away. At the far west end over here, we're showing a small, we'll call it a play area. We're seeing it as, small play elements, but not a playground, right? So little things that the smaller kids could play on, but nothing more sculptural. That can include some boulders, that can include some logs, things like that, but not a big giant structure that's obnoxiously colored or anything like that. Also scattered throughout the site, we're adding new landscaping. We don't have it shown, but we are cutting back some of the existing brush to make some of this work. So I think that brush line is kind of out to here, so we're cutting that back a decent amount. So we're gonna bring in some additional landscaping. And then the other big thing that we wanted to include was, you know, there's events that are probably gonna happen here, right? And so you're gonna have deliveries of different equipment, whatever. And so creating some type of access point here for a vehicle to back in, drop off whatever you need for the event. We're recommending, it's called grass pave. There's different other ideas of what that could be, but it's a drivable turf basically, right? So it's a reinforced turf, it's a plastic thing that you don't see, but that area can be drivable. It's used for fire lanes and things like that, but no one would know it's there, but someone that's dropping something off knows that they can use that space, and you're not gonna have ruts and wear out that area where that truck is back in it, so.
Does real grass grow through it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you would, like I said, it's plastic rings basically, that's like inch thick. You infill it, you set it on soil, you infill it with soil, and then you just seed it, and then it just looks like turf, so. I think that covers this concept. Any questions, or want to go through the second concept? And then
Let's
next
go
question?
through them and then open it up.
All right, so second concept, a lot of the same ideas with getting across. We're gonna have grade change. In this concept, we decided to create this focal point on the other side of the path. Instead of having a shade sail, we're thinking maybe something arbors with benches underneath. Again, providing some shade, but it's not crazy, but it's giving you that focal point that you're gonna see from the library that, oh, there's something over there, I'm gonna go check that out. This concept also has the reading nooks scattered throughout. We're also showing picnic table areas too that are kind of off the path in a couple different locations. This concept shows the play area off the path on the outside, so that creates this green space that's more usable here. This area would be fairly flat. Again, we're gonna have some type of grade change through here, so it's not, you're not gonna wanna be setting up a bunch of stuff here, but it will be all green. And then again, we're providing some berming areas where we can try to lose some of that dirt on site. And that's about it. So those are the two concepts. Now what we'll do is we'll just kind of go through some images of what this could be. You know, we have different materials you can use, make the bridge out of. It could be wood, it could be metal, combination of the two, wood and metal. It could have columns, kind of something that's gonna welcome you across the bridge. You could do colors, you know, match, different colors to match, you know, things that are happening on the building of the library itself. You do something on the top left, there's a little more modern, maybe not exactly what we want to do here, but there's different options, different ways we could do that. So, landscaping, the kind of thought process is it's going to be native adjacent plant. But what I like to call it is it's contained native, right? So you have plantings, but you also have a mow strip, something that contains it, so you don't have this stuff just growing over the paths, right? So gives you the nice native look, but not the mess or the weediness that kind of happens sometimes with that. So lighting, we showed pedestrian lights. We're picturing more the full scale heads, but you could do bollards. This is what's on site right now, so we could easily just match it, simple. The other option would be to do something different because it's a different space. And so maybe you lean into the prairie style, you know, kind of go with, kind of matches your logo. You know, that's another option of that how that could happen, so. All right, the play area. Again, you're seeing this is very, how do we want to call that? very
Simple?
simple, right? Like nothing that's gonna be crazy, but it's more sculptural, that's the word. You know, it's
Yeah, not a
more-
playground, but
More of a sculptural play area.
play area,
Right,
yeah.
and so we're seeing something that has turtles in it, to kind of go with the theme of the library has with turtles. So there was two on the left are more sculptural turtles. There's like a spring rider. I think there's some color options we could do to tone that down if we wanted to, but something again with that turtle look to it. You could also do some play panels that have turtle theming in it. The berming on site, we're kind of seeing that being used as play berms, so kids are gonna run across that, everything else. Boulders, you know, that's just granite boulders right there, but you could do limestone outcroppings, you could do different things to do that, incorporate that, you know, in that play area. It could be out throughout the whole site as well, if we like to add that informal seating around the path, things like that, we can easily do that. Then obviously your storyboards as well, so. All right, shade sails on top, any color you want. I think the orange is a little bright for what we're trying to do, but you know, that's showing the triangular, that kind of what we have in the plan. This one shows a way of you, different levels of them, two of them, and again, just different patterning of how that could look. So lots of different options, lots of different colors. The issue we've always had is technically you really should be pulling those down in the wintertime. If you don't, then you just have to replace them more often. So there's that trade-off. And then here is just different ways you could do an arbor, metal and wood. That's both are metal and wood, but you can make it all wood. You can have backing to it. We're kind of picturing benches underneath it. But again, it's a filtered shade. It's not a full shade that you're going to get from a shade sail. Site furniture. So on site currently, I believe the left trash receptacle, I believe that top left is what's on site currently. So again, you can match that. The other option is to go something different. You know, this trash and bench here kind of has that prairie style grass look to it. It kind of has more of the prairie style patterning right there. And then there's different ways you could do the benches, or sorry, the picnic tables. We would do ADA and normal, so like this one here has an option for 4 seats and 2 ADA. That same table could just have 6 seats. So there's different ways to do that. Wood and metal, all metal, tons of different colors, so I want to kind of give you a array of colors to choose from. And then this bench up here is just another version, wood or traditional, if you want to go that route. So, and that's it.
Maybe turn the lights on. And then we can look at the designs. I don't think we need that.
What,
The projector.
Projector.
Yeah. Because we have it hooked up. Thank you.
Okay, all right, and so like we mentioned, we're looking for feedback on these two elements, or the two concepts, and we can like marry different elements from each of them to kind of create the final, just kind of seeing what you guys, you know, prefer. So I guess-
TYP, is that typical?
Yes.
Okay.
Liz, what did you ask? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
If TYP is typical.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, so the first main different element is the location of the seating as you walk across the bridge. Is there a preference to have like the center area right when you first enter, or when you like having to walk across the path
Do you
on
want
the
to
far
force people to
side?
get to this focal point area, or do you want to just let them enter at the focal point?
Yeah.
Can we set this up just for the public who may be watching, and also, and just talk about, again, why we're using this space? So I think the primary is to utilize like the natural land that we have and make it, you know, accessible and useful for the general public, as well as for the library to conduct library-wide programming. And so it was really important for staff to be able to access it from the library and not have to go all the way around. So having the bridge was like key, and I think the board all agreed with that. And then having green space, enough space for us to conduct our library-wide programming. And I think Will can also attest that the more space, the better. Also, we incorporated elements that I know that President Swistak was interested in, having pavers available for people to donate a brick and put their names on it and things like that. So there are the two concepts incorporate both of those elements. The first concept A has it right away, and the other one has a little bit larger space on the other side. I think that's all I wanted to say. Did I miss anything? Okay. I just wanted to set the table for why we want this. Okay.
So I think I like the idea of concept A for like where the main like paver area is. Just for like if you're having story times and you have like parents with strollers, that they don't have to like take a pathway all the way around. Or push it through the grass. So you cross the bridge and you're right where story times will be.
My question in relation to that is, just Will and Tatiana, from your perspective, do both of the designs provide enough space for that programming? That's my key concern is, irrespective of anything else, does it meet those basic needs? If we look at these and say, is that space directly across from the library, from that walkway, is that sufficient for the programming that we envision being in that space?
I'll say then you can have whatever, we've really not decided on either one because we really wanted to hear what the board had to say. What I'll say is I like the path, or I'll say the shape of concept B better because there's more green space. But I appreciate what Vice President Berry mentioned about having something immediately there. And I wonder, and I'm sure this can happen, is that the shape of the path, we can flip-flop the shape to incorporate the pavers when you first come in to concept B shape of the space. And having like the play area on the outside of the space in concept B. So.
Yeah, is the primary, when you envision programming in that space, does it take place exclusively in this paver area, or does it expands into the green area?
Yes, so think about like having Fall Fest, that we're gonna talk about later, we're having an inflatable slide. So that would come in through the driveway there and then be placed on the grass.
Right.
And we can also set up tables on pavers, but also set up tables or like seating areas in the grass as well.
Right.
Yeah. So we would be using the grass, yes.
Okay.
One of the things that might help with context there too, especially Tatiana and Will, from my familiarity with some of the events you guys have done outside, you're kind of utilizing some of the space that's off the screen right here. It's on the east side, right after you pass over there. I almost wonder if we take a box basically and kind of show, okay, this box is the area that you guys typically use. How does that align to the green space you see in these options? And that can help shape what that path ends up being.
Well, I really like the play area outside of the path. I think that makes the most sense, and especially maybe less distracting for programming if it's, removed a little bit. So I think that's
I definitely like the larger green space of concept B. It feels more open to me, less congested. And I totally understand what Vice President Berry was saying about that paver area being like the full point, when you see it. With concept B, I just felt like you see the open part. I wasn't even thinking about the fact that maybe they would want to do a story time there and then the ease of getting to it. So, there's that piece as well. I also kind of, in one of the preliminary conversations we had, I don't remember when this was, but I feel like we talked about something that would have some type of like signage or something, like what it was, right? Like that it's
Like an arch.
yeah, like an archway or something.
Entry
that we-
gateway.
Like something that we had talked about, that would help, guide people to like what this is. And something to think about as far as that goes too. But with the story time, so Tatiana, Will, are you thinking that they would wanna have story time on that paver area, or are you thinking they'd want it to be in the grass? Like, what are you, like, did you talk to anyone from youth services to see like what they think, like what they're?
They all received the board packet.
Okay.
I think they're just excited to have a space to
Yeah.
do things in. And having space, having hardscape space is important, but I know that staff have had story times in the grass before, so what are your thoughts?
Yeah, most programming would be occurring in the pavers. Like maybe babies would go there because we have like little jack back chairs that we have the parents sit in, and it is a tighter space, which you need it to be. They can't go anywhere, so being close is fine. But any programming you'd be doing with bigger kids would be in the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
paver space really, especially in A, in B, you could get away with it because it has the green space behind it,
Right.
kind of like almost like
It's kinda open to it.
auditorium
Yep.
space. But the paver space in A, or paver space in general, probably wouldn't be a focal point for programming
Okay.
anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
And especially with like the I mean, it looks like a hedge right behind it.
Yeah.
So that kind of closes
Right.
it off, as opposed to in concept B where it just seems like it's more open. And you can get to the pavers from the grass, you don't have
Yeah.
to get back to the path, you don't have to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I kinda like the open.
I do as
Yeah.
well.
Me too.
Yeah, definitely.
But closer to the bridge still? Is that what you're
You
saying?
like it
yeah.
flipped to
openness
the
of it,
other
but
side, yeah.
Bring it to
Flip
the
around.
same area where it is in A.
I wonder if the grading of the land impacts that.
Right, and so.
I'm just thinking, cause that's what you had mentioned before was about
Right.
that.
Right, so I think there's two different things. So concept A, picture it as more like an amphitheater, like you have a flat spot and a grade goes up. So that's why we have the seat wall. So
Okay.
if you want to have a small band or classical music playing or
I
something
did
like
not
that, you
notice
could
that
have
was a
like a
seat
mini
wall.
amphitheater.
Okay.
Whereas concept B, you have this stage that's on a hill and the person on the stage would be looking down.
Right.
And it's not really for that type of presentation, so if you're gonna use it for that, I think concept A kind of, and you don't have to have that hedge, we showed that hedge as just
Yeah.
a way to, something to backdrop to the seating, but
Right,
it
right.
could be grass, right? It doesn't have to be that.
But what is the elevation change immediately behind that paver space in concept A? Do you know?
Like 2
Off the
feet
top
or
of your head.
something.
So that seawall would be, 18 to 2 feet probably.
Right, and
somewhere.
it's actively holding back the landscape, the
right.
earth, soil behind
And
it.
we're digging
Okay.
out that, a
Right.
hole in the ground basically there, so we
Right.
can make
Okay.
that grade change, so.
Got it, so then the seat wall almost is kind of a prerequisite, otherwise you're gonna need some kind of retaining wall there to keep soil off the pavers.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
In that concept. The other concept, I think you could, that
Right.
hill could just slope on down
Right.
to the other path.
I see. That explains a lot.
And so everything kind of on the west side, where we kind of label with the green, that's basically generally flat. There'll be some slope to
Right.
it. But once you get to closer to that plaza space, there's gonna be some not significant, decent amount of grade change in that area, so.
If you went with the, just getting Bill's moving, if you went with the concept A kind of plaza space where it's low and you had that kind of amphitheater type effect, would the board consider, do you want the picnic tables there because they're fixed? Versus having them somewhere else, like in concept B where they're a little bit more throughout, something.
Yeah.
That was my other thought too, with the tables in the space, it kind of precludes programming there, because you're in the middle of tables.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally you wanna secure them, but
Right.
maybe you don't.
We're not moving.
Oh, no, you wanna secure them.
Yeah.
That's too easy for somebody to borrow them.
Yep, yeah, exactly.
That happens at Sheezer. Yeah.
I really like the idea of keeping the dirt on site and creating the berms.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I
also
love that,
a
yeah.
place for kids to kind of play stuff. I can totally imagine them doing that. I mean,
Yeah.
just thinking about the play space we have down in youth services right now with them climbing in and laying in those little like nooks and stuff, like, I think that's great to have that in there. Which I also, is part of the more green space, right, in concept B, whereas in concept A, it's kind of outside of the path. And in concept B, it's inside, and I like that too.
I had the same thought, making it inclusive
Yeah, I like
inside
that
that
design.
loop, at least part of it anyway, a lot of it. I could see that getting a lot of use, yeah.
I feel like it almost ends up as seating too, or like
Yeah.
story
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then is the feeling moving towards concept B with the like gradual grading? Or are we still liking A with the amphitheater style at the entrance?
I feel like we definitely like the larger green space of B.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the place where most
Mhm.
people are in consensus right now, is at least that aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Karen, what do you think of that?
I prefer A, but that's just my choice. I mean, you can move the play area on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you still have more picnic tables than you would on the other one. You lose
Yeah.
one.
Well, could we add more picnic tables to B?
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
actually my question too,
Yeah.
because I feel like that's
They're gonna
something, an
use
important
more.
element, absolutely.
You know, one concept shows it clustered in that plaza, the other one shows it
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
spread
right,
out.
right.
Around
Mhm.
the path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you want them clustered and sprinkled?
I don't
You
know
think
if
so?
we need to be clustered.
Yeah, I don't-
I mean, how
yeah.
many groups are gonna picnic as a group,
Yeah.
different groups?
Mhm.
It's usually a family.
Spread out.
Right, because if you have an event, you're gonna bring tables out anyway, so,
Oh,
yeah, yes, it's not like.
Yeah, I think spread out.
Mhm.
Spread out, okay.
And I like the idea of having like some picnic tables and then some reading nooks and have it
Mhm.
kind of interspersed throughout.
And Nurse Weinstein, you were saying for like the library-wide events, like that programming, the larger grass area, the green area, green space concept B is
Yeah.
what makes more sense for the library as far as that goes, correct?
Yeah, and that's really, I mean, for sure. Everything else is really lovely. I mean, I've been very impressed with Tara's concepts. I like both of them very much. And our meetings have gone very well. They've accepted a lot of feedback from Will and myself and CCS. But I feel like the space in concept B is more, it works more towards what we're going for in terms of library-wide programming. The number of picnic tables, where they're placed,
If we could figure that
we
out.
can figure that out at a later date. The other thing I think we should determine, I mean, I don't know, we don't have to pick which kind, but like,
Right.
do we want these canvas sails, or do we like having more of an arbor over some of the picnic areas and reading nooks? What does the board like in that respect?
The only thing I was thinking about when I was looking at it is kind of how that space out here, how we have that, it looks more like the arbor, right, with the slabs. And so if you're thinking of uniformity between this part of the property and that part of the property, is that important to us? Do we want to keep that uniformity?
It kind of
Or
gives it
not.
more of a natural look when you keep the wood
does.
versus the sails. And then would we take the sail, or would we take the sails down? I mean, maybe
Right.
not
We would have
us,
to.
but we'd have
You're
to,
right.
yeah, otherwise they'll
Less
just be,
maintenance.
yeah, I
Will
know.
doesn't have to
I
go
know.
wrestle them first.
Well, and that was the same concept for, when Craig and I were up there, we were talking about the play area for kids, and I said simple, but we're looking for low maintenance.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Places
right.
for kids to play and safe spaces,
Yeah.
but not high maintenance.
Right.
And we didn't get into the details of play surfacing, but
Right.
it
Yeah.
could be wood chips, it could be rubber, it could be synthetic turf.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's different
And we don't need
versions of that.
to even discuss that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What is the current landscaping vegetation that exists? What are the constituents, do we have any
Not
idea?
great
Is it
stuff, I don't think.
mostly invasive? Do we have any idea? A lot of it remains, more so in A than in B. I'd be
So-
worried about it attempting to take back over, especially given that I'm certain there is some non-desirable species
I'm
in
sure
there.
there's some buckthorn in there and some.
There we go.
So one thing that we had talked about is, for this project, we would do this clearing as we need it. But in general, as a master plan, maybe setting aside some money every year to, okay, we're gonna clear out this area of underbrush, because there's a lot of brush and weeds and stuff, and try to keep the trees, or maybe you clear out a whole area and you replant it. You add 5 new trees in this area and
Okay,
some shrubs or whatever, you know, like, but I see that as a separate
right,
project.
okay.
And we've had our arborist come out, and he has mentioned that there are some decent trees
Right.
in the space. So like, our intention when we had our discussions is to keep as much
Yeah.
good vegetation
Good.
around it, to make it very green. Native plantings was a big key element here. And if there are any invasive species, we would definitely take
Yeah.
care of those.
Yes, my only thought was with concept A, you're leaving a lot more of that, so if it's undesirable and we don't do it right away, people are gonna be walking around and be like, wow, you did all this great work in here.
And all that.
All of, it still looks nasty underneath of it, so my preference there was also towards B for that simple fact of there's less existing unplanned landscaping vegetation remaining.
Right, I'll just point out, we had another project where, you know, the thought was we get rid of all this buckthorn, because this buckthorn is
Yeah.
terrible, right?
Yeah.
But that buckthorn has a purpose, it's creates this, it's green,
It's
right?
great,
And so
very-
people like, what happened, you cut it all down, what happened to it? And that's why I was saying, like, you kind of phase this
Yeah.
transition of, okay, we're gonna do bits and pieces, so we're not wiping out
Right.
everything at once. Might be a better way, cheaper way, you know, more cost-effective way to do that without, you know, shocking the system, like, we're gonna clear everything out.
Yeah,
Now, you could do that and leave all the trees, or most of the trees, right, and then underplant it with everything, you know,
Right.
all new stuff. Again, there's just obviously cost involved, so.
yep,
It's a good strategy too. We've seen it with you guys actually in a different project where everything's cleared out and you have the client come in and they see the trees and they're, you know, the 2-inch caliber, 3-inch caliber, and they see the tree here and it's a lot bigger and stuff. It's like, no, it takes some years. Your landscape architects are planning not for
Yeah.
immediately, they're planning for 20 years out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So keep that
Takes
in
for a
mind.
long
I think
time.
that just, it's a long-term plan for those plantings.
Yeah, cause like along Kingston here, that might be a lot of buckthorn, but it's also like a block
Like a barrier.
barrier.
Creates a nice barrier,
Well,
right?
Yeah.
are we trying to have a barrier?
I don't think
Are we? No.
Well,
I
I mean,
mean,
that's-
that's why it was important to make sure that we had that access point, because right now there's like a little hole you can walk
Yes.
through. We want something larger than that, obviously, that a truck could get in and deliver something. And when we walked the property, we talked about taking out some of the vegetation there,
Yeah.
some of the weedy bushes and such, so that when you're driving by, you actually see that there's something here.
Exactly, yes.
Right,
that's
let's say from the
correct.
sidewalk, you'd want people to be able to enter if they were just
Yeah.
coming
Yes.
down the street and coming, you
But
know.
not clear cutting everything.
No,
Right, right.
no, not at all.
Yeah.
Still some diffusion, but also it should not be to the same degree where people drive
Or
by or
hiding.
walk by
Yes.
Right, they're
and don't
like-
realize it's
there's
actually a library property,
Right,
right?
right,
We installed all of this, but no one can see it now.
Right,
Yes.
right. Would we put a sign there, do you think, too, maybe?
could.
Yeah.
Right now, there's
entry.
the sign, oh, it's a little bit further
It just
north, isn't it, just what says
Yeah.
library property?
Right.
But a sign that would say like,
Welcome, yeah.
whatever we're gonna call this.
Right,
Yeah, we'll come up
right,
with a
yeah,
name and
yeah.
all those-
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like it's kind of
Details.
cozy to have it tucked in a little bit too, you know?
Yeah,
Like
that's why we would clear
a
cut
secret
it.
park, you know, a little bit,
I
kind
mean-
of fun.
Could the pathway connect to the sidewalk? So that there's like a sidewalk
Mhm.
to enter there too?
We can do anything.
Right.
What's
Anything's
the,
possible.
is that at the same, I'm assuming it's closer to the same grade level than opposed to coming from the
Yeah,
parking
it's
lot,
pretty
correct?
flat on that side, so
Right.
I don't see that being an issue.
Okay.
If you wanted to connect to the parking lot to the east, that would be much more difficult.
No,
No,
Much more difficult.
lots of
So, like,
steps,
we
yeah.
could- We could do something like
Right,
a sidewalk
Next to the driving
Yep.
area, yeah.
next- I mean, a little left of it, and then maybe that leads to the play area.
Mhm.
Because if you're pushing your baby cart.
Right, yeah, you
Right
get like
there.
one, two, like going each way, yeah.
Yep.
The
I
other
like
option would be
that.
to, if you want to try to keep as much of that landscape, is to put a path in the middle of that grass pave. And so you
Oh.
basically have the two grass pave, and so they would act as a,
well, that's not a bad idea,
Yeah.
I like that. What's the width of the grass pave?
I don't have that offhand, what's that, It's 32, so yeah, you're probably 14 feet, 16
Okay.
feet.
Oh, wow.
So it's wide, it's bigger than a parking stall,
Got it.
For trucks,
for a truck, right? Yeah.
Okay.
vans.
And, you know, we need a certain width for turning movements or whatever, we can always widen it out to whatever
Right.
width you need, but yeah, it's like 14, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Is 6 feet the tallest that we're allowed to build the fence on the south property border? Is that sufficient height?
I would
The
have to
issue will be
check.
the front yard, because if, you'd have to potentially go through some zoning pieces, because your front fence, if on your front yard, is certain requirements for in how much open it is in height versus side yard and rear yard.
I think front is 4, and I think side is 6.
It sounds about, yeah. In front, I think it's gotta be more open,
Right.
yeah.
And I guess there is some vegetation there anyways, but is 6 feet sufficient for not
For the neighbors?
intruding on the
Yeah.
neighbor?
Yeah.
We have nothing now. We have
Yes,
really nothing.
yes.
And honestly, the vegetation on the neighbor side, it's sparse on certain spots, so
Okay.
you can just see right, you can
Into
see
their
his whole backyard,
Mhm.
so, yeah. And he's 100% on board with a
Okay.
fence.
Very nice.
So what do you need from us right now?
So I guess just to like conclude our thoughts, I guess, it sounds like concept B is the preferred option. And do we wanna keep that gathering area on the far side with the grading up?
Because what,
I
that,
think you flip it.
is it right, Craig, that you can do the amphitheater or the, I'll call
Yeah,
it stage?
I think
either way?
what I heard was
Mhm.
concept B, but take concept A's entry plaza focal point area and use that space there instead of up on the top of the hill.
Minus the picnic tables.
Right.
Minus
Yeah.
the
Right,
picnic tables.
and then the picnic
Okay.
tables would be what's shown in B. I mean, we could have more, but there's 2 right now, but yeah.
Okay, so my question for staff about this is, would that satisfy what staff wants as far as the programming space? Like, I just wanna make sure that it's usable for staff in the way that staff would like to use it. You know, I mean, it's one thing for us to say, yes, this is what we would like, but we're not the ones using it and creating programming to go there. So I think it's important that we have the voice of staff here as well about what's going to be best for you.
I personally think concept B's general layout shape is gonna work best for us. Where the hardscape goes is, I don't think matters, do you?
No, the hardscape is not what would be like the focus
The
of
main
programming.
use
Like,
for us.
I'd say if we were,
Okay.
if we were at least from, I can't speak as much to the adult perspective, but
Right.
at least from the youth perspective, 90% of what we'd be doing, we'd be in the grass.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like we wouldn't really be utilizing the hardscape, other than like a place to like meet, like, all right, guys, we'll start here, and then we're going out to the grass.
Okay, so
Like,
here's my question for
Yeah.
you then, because if we have this hardscape here and we have this like retention wall kind of thing,
Mhm.
that's blocking your access to the green space, right, when you come out for programming, as opposed to in B, you'd be able to just come and just be right in the grass. So does that make a difference?
I don't think it's big enough to be an impediment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's helpful,
Yeah, that's
thank
what
you.
I was kinda worried about too, is like, does it like interrupt
Cut
the
you
space
off.
too much?
Yeah.
And we're showing that wall all the way to the sidewalk,
Uh-huh.
but it doesn't have to be. I mean, it could fall short. It doesn't have to be a wall either. I mean, it could be outcropping stones, it could be more naturalized, like there's different ways to do that. If you really think you're gonna use the space for maybe a bigger event, maybe you have 2 rows of those, right? Create that
Mhm.
amphitheater, mini amphitheater, whatever you wanna call it, right? Like, there's different ways to do that, but
I just really want, I really wanna know how staff would use it.
Yeah, I mean, the amphitheater type of thing, I don't know if that is
outdoor
Is-
classroom, how
is
about
what we're
that?
going, yeah, even that, I'm not sure that, that's
If we-
really what we're going for.
I think having it in that spot for A is like perfect example would be like for Fall Fest. We'd put our like
The
our welcome
guest table.
we'd put our
Right.
welcome table
Right,
there.
right.
And then
Okay.
that's
Then
just to
spread.
start off and then you spread out
Mhm.
everywhere
Yeah.
else. Like we don't anticipate like people congregating there. We don't
Right.
anticipate there
Not gonna
being
have
large groups
entertainment
there.
there,
Yeah, no,
right,
we wouldn't
yeah.
like put like a focal point at that spot.
And no fixed items either. correct?
Yeah,
We
so
don't have
like,
anything fixed there.
like Craig said,
Yeah.
The picnic.
taking those picnic
Right.
tables and like dotting them around like they are in B,
Yeah.
Yeah.
would be
I guess
ideal.
my only question would be, so it sounds like arbors were preferred, right? Over the shade sail. That kind of needs space to do that, unless you want it to be more of a arbor gateway where you just walk underneath and it's not providing.
Where are you talking about?
And if you have this plaza space here, instead of this triangular shade sail, you have the arbor, you know, we're showing arbors up here. It was that focal point of something to see, has a height to it that someone can see and say, okay, so there's something over there. I wanna go see what's over there.
I wasn't even thinking of having any arbors at that plaza space, if we were gonna get rid of the picnic tables. I mean, that was just my, because
So-
just having it more open.
Do you want a shade space for any programming, maybe off to the side or wherever you would do the programming, that's some small shade space where someone can get out of the sun if they need it, or is that, they go to the library for that anyway, so you don't really need that on?
I was
Sorry.
thinking of the arbors being over the reading areas, like the nooks, in case someone needed shade.
Yeah, or
My,
by the
my worry
picnic
is, like,
tables.
some of the images that were shown, I don't want it to look like a bus station either, you know, having like a bench and then like an arbor over it. I,
Interesting.
you know,
You almost need the 4 posts with something across and just some slats, just simple,
something
nice.
very
clean.
simple, or wooden, yeah, akin to our pergola area, something, but at a smaller scale, obviously. But I wasn't thinking of anything over, if we were having the plaza of concept A, something, and I wasn't, I know that this was part of the plan that was brought up, but I wanted to hear the board's opinion, but having like sails there or an arbor there, I think might obstruct some programming, I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, anything we'd go outside for, we'd be wanting to spread out and need more space. So the only way that shade would truly be beneficial is if we like did something that covered it and spaced 4 times the size of that sail, or 3 times. Like, there's anything we'd like be really concerned about a group of people needing that much shade or that much, we'd be in the meeting rooms.
Or we bring the tents out.
Or we'd bring the tents
Right,
out, exactly,
right.
yeah. I don't know if it would benefit us often enough
Right.
to be there, like permanently.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
having,
the
like-
focal point thing is this gateway that you talked about, right? That's what's announcing it, it's at the bridge, it's right before the bridge.
Right, exactly.
And that's what's drawing you across it and the bridge itself, and maybe there's some columns with the bridge or something, but there's no like thing you see out there per se.
The more I'm, looking at it, thinking about it too, I feel like just concept A almost makes it look like, if it did have that seat wall, right, that whole area, that it almost like blocks off the rest of it, like from your eyes when you're coming out, that you don't necessarily see that it's this big green space, whereas in concept B, it's definitely just open.
I don't know if you're gonna see the seat wall.
Okay,
Yeah, how tall are we? I mean, it's not too
Yeah,
big.
it's
like
gotta be
all
18
right.
inches, and
Okay.
again, in the parking lot,
Right.
that bridge is
And
gonna
there's
be
gonna be
going up
going
4
up.
feet, so like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna
if you'd even see it,
even
Notice it.
see it.
okay.
Okay.
You would get up there and then you're like, oh, there's this plaza
Okay.
space where I
Okay.
could have a gathering of people if you wanted to or whatever, but, and again, it doesn't need to be that big either, it could
Yeah.
be much smaller.
Yeah, if it was almost like interrupted, so that there's pathways to the green space through it.
So are we thinking this more half circle but on the other side, or are we back to a circular spot? That's, I thought, I'm trying to figure out where we're gonna, what's the shape of the plaza area? Are we,
The issue was that due to grading, if we
Okay.
have the plaza in the spot where it is
Right.
in A, we
Right.
almost have to have some sort of little, like, in, as we mentioned, it's only 18
It's like
to,
a bird.
it's 18 to 24 inches, like, it's, wall is, perhaps too strong of a word.
Large curb.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I don't necessarily like, it might be a nice like seating option too, especially for like the Fall Fest and stuff, where you've got like a ton of people, people are waiting, and
Yeah.
I'll ask the question correctly. Either way, is there a big cost delta between the two, where the plaza goes?
I don't think so. I mean, again, it depends on how big that plaza is. If we're shrinking it down a little bit, because it sounds like you don't need that much space. It's really grading, I think, is the biggest thing, and trying to lose the dirt. So-
And if it isn't a cost decision, then it doesn't have to be a decision made today. It's something that,
Yeah.
that's, I just want to float that out there, that
Yeah.
we can have, whether we want it to be on the north or the south side, it's probably just, it can move. And for this next round, see where things go, and then go from there. As long as you're not, if we pick one for now, basically to coalesce a plan around for planning purposes, is really knowing that that could change.
Will there be any utilities? Are you planning to run, you said lights, so there'd be electrical, there gonna be like a water fountain anywhere along the path or anything like that? Do we need it, want
We
it?
haven't discussed it, but
Okay. Will you ever bring like speakers or anything that needs to be plugged in out there?
Yeah, we anticipate having lighting and also, security camera.
So,
You're gonna run Wi-Fi so that, okay.
Might as well. Okay.
Are we okay doing the water, or do we need water? And I'm just asking that from a cost perspective.
I don't know.
I would
it's a lot of cost for
Yeah, it's
just a drinking fountain. Now, if you want to like do irrigation along with it, maybe, okay, but yeah.
Or a little
I would-
fountain
Or
would be
maintenance
a
too.
water element.
Giant waterfall. No.
Yeah.
And fish.
A little koi pond. Yeah.
turtle pond, right?
A turtle pond, how about that?
Well, you think about it, most of our parks don't have water fountains, like the Park District
Yeah,
parks,
they do.
do they? Like where,
Like at the lily pad landing or whatever, the dragonfly
Okay,
landing, that's
okay.
got one.
Well, it's because they've got a splash pad there.
They do.
yeah,
So the water.
yeah. So I
Sure.
mean, is there like a
Neighborhood
water
zone.
fountain at Wood Glen, or like some of the
No, not
parks
the
in Green
neighborhood.
Trails?
Green Trails has no water
I would say, I
fountains.
don't think, yeah, so
Yeah.
I think it's not typical to have water
Yeah, and
provided
you've got
at
the
a
library,
park.
you know,
Inside the
open
building.
Right,
just-
right.
People are gonna come here to go to the bathroom anyway.
Well, and in our programs, we bring like bottled
Okay.
water out, we have like a pretzel truck or something.
I think to Josh's, I think Community Park has water fountains,
Yeah.
and then I think Dragonfly Landing has water fountains.
Okay.
But Dragonfly has the splash pad built in, and then Community has all the other infrastructure from the pool and everything else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cost-wise, you're looking at tapping the main and the street.
Yeah.
There's all that associated with that. You have to have RPZ, all for a little.
Totally fine.
We walk back to the building. There we go.
You can put up a sign that says drinking fountain. inside.
Right,
Yeah,
that one time you don't put up anything, you just hope no one asks.
Right, right.
The first person who does, say, oh, we'll look into it.
Nobody goes anywhere without a water bottle anyway,
Yeah.
so.
That's why I'm conscious of it. It's my first thing we do is try to find water fountains and bottle fillers.
So do you have enough direction from us at this point, just what we've talked about for the next steps?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. It sounds like for now, we're leaving the like entry gathering point towards the bridge, and we'll explore that, right? With option B, and scattered tables around the walking area with arbors or no arbors?
Gateway at the bridge.
Gateway at the bridge.
No arbor, no shade sail.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
At the main plaza, but
Yeah.
over the seating areas, the scattered seating areas, is that what you said?
Over the
I mean,
picnic
if
tables?
we could do, like, depending on how many picnic tables, and we haven't even
Yeah.
determined that yet, and that's okay
Yeah.
for today. I would say that, like, if we had 6 picnic tables, maybe 3 of them have a pergola, and maybe
Yeah.
3 do.
Okay.
That's what I was.
Right, or maybe
thinking. Like,
group
we
that,
can-
a couple, and then just put one little
Or
area,
just
yeah.
look at like at the site, like which ones are in
Yeah.
bright sunlight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
and-
Yeah.
I think that's some of the issue is like, it's nice to have them, but if it's facing south,
Right.
that's not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
And pergolas really don't do
Yeah.
much because it's that
Yeah, it's
filter.
scattered
Right.
light.
Whereas I think the other option would be where we have these picnic tables, you do an umbrella with the picnic table. And that provides at least a more,
And
Like
you
a
said
metal-
that there
metal
were
one, not
some
like a-
built-in umbrellas like metal umbrellas and picnic tables, we can do something like that, it's like low maintenance, and we can explore those too, when we get to that point.
Yeah. Does anyone have anything else to share, thoughts, feelings, before we move on from this? To let them work their magic?
What's the next step?
So we'll work with Tara to come up with a project cost. So Tara's gonna provide an engineer's opinion of costs on the construction side. We'll put together the project pro forma for it. Present that possibly next month. We'll be looking at any of the documentation we wanted to look at any funding sources and, you know, mixed funding sources, see things that we might be possible for that. I know it's something we're already starting to look at, sorry. Already started something that we're looking at and trying to make sure that we can get ahead of any of those types of options that might be out there right now. From there, if we come to next month, we can say, okay, is this right? Is this, you know, how does this fit in with cash flow and things like that? And we can update that cash flow we provided, I want to say, about a year ago. But we'll update that, see how that fits, and then the library can decide if this is something that we want to move forward with beyond that.
So is this enough for the, because you had mentioned there's 2 potential grants and one of them has a sooner deadline, is this enough for that?
So I wanted to, I shared with President
Sorry.
Stack that there are 2 grants available. The grant we think that might work for us, the deadline is the end of this month. So we really needed the board's opinion on which direction you wanted to go, or if at all. Like if you said, no, we don't like this, or half this, that would help. But since we're leaning towards Concept B with some modifications from the discussion today, that gives us, and it'll give Tara and CCS ideas of, because for any grant, you have to lay out some costs.
Yeah.
So they have to do that work like ASAP.
Sure.
And again, we don't need to know how many exact tables or, you know, the colors of things and things. But if you are, you know, agreeable to Concept B with some adjustments, they will do some basic cost estimations so that we can apply for a grant.
Wow, great.
And we've been discussing it, and Sarah and I have been going over the application, and it's a lot to do in like 2 weeks. But we think we can do it with Tara's help and CCS.
Okay.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One thing I will
Exciting.
note on that
Yeah.
is certain things within the grant give you better odds. And so we may want to look at small pieces to add to it in the whole scheme of things to get us points. So we need to take a closer look at that, but
Okay.
Maybe 2 turtles instead of 1 turtle. Measure it up, but yeah. Jack and Jill, yeah.
Matches.
Okay. Well, thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
Great, thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
this is great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right, exciting.
Very exciting.
All right.
Okay. And moving on to agenda item number 6, which is committee reports. 6A is finance. Any report?
No, nothing to report?
Thank you. 6B is personnel and policy.
Nothing.
Nothing at this time. Okay, 6C is physical training.
Nothing to report.
Okay, then we will continue right along. Agenda item number 7 is staff reports. 7A is director's report. Director Weinstein.
Okay, I will start with the village branding meeting, where also Trustee Sullivan, however, representing Green Trails, also attended. It was held at Benedictine University, facilitated by the village's branding consultants, village staff, other intergovernmental agencies were there, a few business owners, other people representing other organizations were there. So that, we all sat at different tables, we participated in like various little marketing exercises, we articulated what Lisle means to us, and tried to communicate Lisle's value to, you know, potential businesses who would come to town, or residents to move to Lisle. And so I understand there might be more of these happening, or maybe they already occurred, like a series of stakeholder meetings, not sure. I know they had a survey out too, so hopefully everybody took that. And I know when Liz and I left the meeting, we asked one of the consultants, like, you know, when are we gonna see the results, you know, of the branding and things like that, and they said something towards the beginning of the year, like,
Yeah, it's gonna take a while.
yeah, so a few months, so maybe after the first of the year. So, but was happy to be asked, and it was a nice meeting. Moving on, so speaking of Fall Fest, I just want to remind everybody that the library's annual Fall Fest returns on Friday, September 26th from 5 to 7 p.m. We're gonna have indoor stuff and outdoor stuff, but mostly outdoor stuff. We'll kick off the event indoors with a campfire, story time, and youth services, and then all the outdoor activities will be on our Front Street lot. We're gonna try and fit there. We'll have live owls from the Stillman Nature Center. We'll have an inflatable slide for the kids, a soft pretzel truck for everyone. We'll have reading recommendation table and a pumpkin judging table where all of the departments have been tasked with carving a pumpkin, and then they will all be scrutinized and judged. So we'll see who wins.
Oh, that's fun.
Just hope to see you all there. And then moving on to other festive news, the library will also be at Lisle Depot Days on Saturday, September 20th on the museum campus near Village Hall. We'll have staff from adult, youth, and circulation services there stationing a table. We'll have materials about farming and blacksmithing and things like that. We'll also highlight our ancestry and our genealogy databases, very apropos to the Depot Days theme. Okay, and then moving on to the Piazza bird. So I think I mentioned this before. Our lovely Piazza bird has sustained some damage. And we've been in contact with the members of the Illini Needlers Guild to help us repair it. So they came here last week. So right now, our Piazza bird is in storage right now, and they're going to come back and do the necessary repairs. They ordered the materials, lovely ladies. And just once that Piazza bird wall hanging is repaired, Will is going to ensure it has a nice acrylic shield, not like a box, but just a shield to protect it. And just so you know, again, I think I've mentioned this, but I think it's so neat. The Needlers Guild gifted us this 3-piece wall hanging way back in 1987. 35 women worked on it for a total of 3,000 stitching hours, and it took 25 months to complete. So yeah, it's
They
a
want
very
to
neat
keep
piece
it,
to
yeah,
have.
love it.
So cool.
And then next, moving on, I have 2 mentions of partnering with the Lisle Police Department. First mention is I met with Chief Rodriguez this week to confirm that last week, on Saturday, September 27th from 9:30 to noon. The Lisle Police Department will be here conducting a car seat safety check for residents. We'll have officers here to instruct people how to install their seats properly. That's gonna happen back in the southeast parking lot near the hardscape area back there, and you don't have to register or anything. You just drive up with your car and your car seat and they'll help you out. And then we also discussed having Chief Rodriguez visit the library during our next in-service day for staff, hopefully in early November. That's the day when we close the library for all-day staff training, and we'll ask the board next month for that approval at the October board meeting. And so we're looking for Chief Rodriguez to help us out with reviewing our active shooter and bomb threat training, as well as answer some just general questions on policing in Lisle, and then also give an opportunity for staff who've not met our new chief of police. So that should be a good thing. And then as we just went over with the Kingston project, just looking at the grant options for us, the qualifications, the requirements, the deadlines. I'm also seeking some supportive letters from our local legislators, our mayor, to help support all the documentation we need to submit the grant information. And then lastly, I just included the list of director board communications. Not sure if there's any questions about any of those things, but if there are, I can help. And if not, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for the director? Okay. Well, thank you. Okay, 7B is the assistant director's report. Assistant Director Sanders.
Thank you. So the event team met several times, as Tatiana mentioned, to talk about Fall Fest. So that's coming up shortly. And then we are also beginning planning for our winter anniversary celebration as one of our quarterly events. So look forward to that in December. Around the facility, I met with a couple different vendors to discuss options for our interior card access doors. I'm working with IT to figure out what's the best way to move forward with. We're narrowing it down, and hopefully by the next meeting I have some concrete details for you all. During some of the storms over the weekend of August 16th and 17th, some of the paneling on this east side of the building fell off. So we submitted an insurance claim and had Phoenix Restoration out to come complete that work. They actually did it just earlier this week. So everything is back and patched up and all in great shape. So that's been taken care of. Seal coating was done over the Labor Day weekend. It looks great. They did a great job, 0 issues, and we were able to do it without any interruptions to service because we did it over that Sunday and Monday of Labor Day. And then Autobahn Masonry was out to complete some tuck pointing repairs up right above us right here. There's some like brickwork that goes along the top there and atop the second level, just about where the north entrance is. And this piece was having some gaps and needed some work done. So they came out and they took care of the tuck pointing for us and all as well. And then we had our annual fire extinguisher inspection. This is one of multiple inspections that we do with Johnson Controls as part of their fire and fire prevention service. So a tech came out, I walked him through the whole building, got all of our fire extinguishers. There were a few that had expired that we had backups for that we were able to just swap out. And so everything is all good. Everything is good for another year. We are all set.
Great, thank you.
I do have a question for you.
Yes.
You've talked before about having issues with bathroom cleaning, and I'm just wondering how that was going.
So.
Sorry, loaded question.
No, it's fine. I am still working through stuff with the cleaning crew. So we will see where we are at the end of this contract.
We're at a
here.
6-month contract right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just couldn't remember where we were in the 6-month process.
So it's fiscal year, so
Okay.
July 1.
Okay,
You might still change.
okay, thanks. I just was
Yeah.
curious. Okay, does anyone else have any questions for the assistant director? Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 8, which is new business. 8A is to adopt LLD ordinance 25-04, the budget and appropriation ordinance. May I have a motion and a second, and then the director will provide an explanation.
I move to adopt the LLD budget and appropriation ordinance 25-04, an ordinance of such sums of money as may be deemed necessary to defray all necessary expenses and liabilities of the Lisle Library District for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026.
Second?
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Director Weinstein?
Yes, so this document was reviewed by the board in August. We've included the overview in the packet as we did last month, all the same. Our attorney also gave this ordinance his blessing last month, and just for the record, there were no changes made to this document.
Okay. Any further discussion on this? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swistek.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Bailey.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Motion passes. 8B is to approve the certificate of estimated revenue. May I have a motion and a second, and then the director can provide an explanation.
I move to approve the certificate of estimated revenue by source for the Lisle Library District for fiscal year 2025-26.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Director Weinstein?
Okay, so this document estimates our revenue by source. It will accompany our BNA ordinance that we file with the county. The numbers here are not new. They come directly from the working budget that the board already passed.
Any further discussion? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swistek.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Bailey.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Motion passes, thank you. 8C is to approve LLD ordinance 25-06, the special reserve fund revision and plan. May I have a motion and a second, and then the director can provide an explanation.
I move to approve LLD ordinance 25-06, the special reserve fund revision and plan.
Second?
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Director Weinstein.
Okay, so this is a little bit more of an explanation because it's special. We don't do this every month or every year. So the special reserve ordinance, it is a living document that gets revised whenever a library district either updates its project list or plans to save for something. So these ordinances are generally reserved for capital projects, larger investments. The language in this ordinance came from our attorney. The plan on page 2 is where the library outlines in just general terms why the library is saving its money and what it's saving it for. So previously, this special reserve ordinance was all about the renovation, if you remember. Back then, it also outlined emergency expenses if they were needed. This ordinance is also a type of like not to exceed document to show the public that in good faith, the library is saving for XYZ, and it may incur costs to up to 1, 2, 3, you know, whatever we say, the documented amounts. So the first item in the plan shows the Kingston Lot project. When Mark first proposed the Kingston Lot project, we ballparked $1 million. Okay, so what I put in here, and again, it can change, but I put in 1.5 million, so a not to exceed. And so that we don't have to update this every year, we included other campus enhancements that are not currently included in the Kingston Lot project, but maybe 2 years down the line, the board wanted to enhance the Kingston Lot with something, so that an additional cost was entered there. We've also included a boiler replacement, which was on our facility report to replace within, I think it was a 2-year, was it a 2-year for that boiler? 2-year window?
At minimum, it might have been like 3 or 4, but
Okay.
it was, yeah.
Included that in there. And then lastly, we included an emergency mention in the ordinance. And again, we can change this anytime we want, anytime you want to update it. But for now, since we do have this new project, it's important for the board to put something in writing to say, this is why we're saving our money.
Okay.
Okay.
Any further discussion on this? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swister.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Bailey.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, motion passes. Agenda item number 9 is the opportunity for trustee comments. I will go first tonight. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for the discussion we had about the Kingston lot. It's really exciting to be at this point. We're talking about the development of the Kingston lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it progresses and what we end up doing there. And then I also wanted to mention that I'm really looking forward to Fall Fest. It's always nice to do the library-wide events, and so I'm looking forward to that as well. And then that's it for me. Trustee Sullivan.
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Bailey.
My turn.
Sorry, I'm
You
doing
said it
reverse
so well,
alphabetical.
that is exactly what I was
Sorry,
thinking. No,
reverse
thank you.
alphabetical.
No further comments, you said it perfectly.
Okay, thank you. Secretary Martin.
I am just really pleased to know that there is such a thing as the Illini Needlers Guild, and that they've been around since 1987, and that is an organization that continues to persist. And I'm happy that they're still able to repair their hanging, because it seems like an incredible effort to do that. So I can't help but wonder how long arts and skills like that will continue to be around, because I know that I don't see anyone in my generation or the generations after me really interested in needlework, but I'm glad that they're still there, and I'm glad that that's getting repaired and it's protective shield. So that was just a little thing I took away, very impressive, so thank you. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Larson.
I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you. Treasurer Bryan.
I reiterate what you say about the plan and the Fall Fest, and I love the car seat check. That's a really kind of a cool thing. I think you'll probably have a lot of people, I would think, yeah. Yeah, what a great idea. So I love partnering, with other organizations, and so, very good.
Thank you. Vice President Berry.
I wanted to give a shout out to the Illinois Library Association's programs and how we have access to all those. I went to the Zoom one with Steve from Blue's Clues last night, and it was really good. Yeah. So I just think that's a cool opportunity that everyone in Illinois can take advantage of.
Agreed.
And then all the data center stuff, thank you guys who actually made it to the bottom of my email. And I'm still in talks with a bunch of different people, but I'll keep you guys updated.
Thank you.
That was very impressive. A lot of good information.
Yep.
And the last item on the agenda is to adjourn. May I have a motion and a second?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Discussion. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned at 8:14 PM.
Okay,
Thanks,
thank
everyone.
you, great.